Alright guys, welcome back to another Dolphin Computer Service video. Today we're going to be talking about one of the many things that we probably have a bunch of lying in our house. That is the surge protector. So, as always, we're going to get straight into it. This is the one I always use for my customers. I like this one for either, whether it's for a commercial, like for your business or, just at home. This is the one I prefer. This is this Belkin pivot plug. It has 12 of them. It has 4 on each side that they pivot so that you can kind of lay it flat against the wall, or if you have a really tight space, and then you have 4 in the middle. It also has for your TV and your phone. Extension cord's pretty long, 8 feet. I like it because it's kind of a blend of everything. It has this little cubby hole here, so you can route all your cables, make them look nice and neat. Nice big power switch, so if you're in a tight area, you can feel for it turned on and off in case it trips, or you want to turn it off for power savings. Every surge protector has what they call a joule energy rating. How much it supports or can absorb from a like say lightning strike in your house. And I always recommend that you keep if you buy one for yourself, that you keep the documentation of your proof of purchase and all that, because a lot of these do have a warranty where let's say you do have a surge, electrical surge, and your equipment does get damaged even when it's connected to this. You can put in a claim. Some of them, they have up to like $100,000 depending on where you get it from or who you purchase from. I think Belkin has this warranty. Don't know, I have to actually look at it, but sometimes they'll advertise it on the actual box. And if you submit the claim with your proof that hey, look, this is this was damaged, even though it's connected to your thing, they will actually reimburse you for the equipment. Other reasons why I like this is it's actually pretty sturdy. Cord is of a nice quality. Again, my favorite thing is these flip out to the side. So if you have one of those plugs that are like awkwardly shaped, you can put it to the side, like let's say up here, over here, and then turn it so you still have space for the rest of your normal size plugs. All surge protectors, believe it or not, do have a lifespan. We're all guilty of it, even myself. We all have that surge protector where the little light on the switch is blinking from how old it is. At that point, it has to be gotten rid of, because the circuitry that helps protect from surges does degrade over time, and it eventually just becomes a regular wall outlet extension where it'll supply power, but it actually won't provide any protection. So usually 5 years is, from what I understand, is the recommended mark to get rid of them and replace them with new ones. Also, if they're let's say you have like this 12 gang surge protector, and let's say one of them just one of the outlets just quits working. At that point, just get a new one, because you don't know why it went out, and chances are others are on their way, and it may have even lost its ability to provide protection. And as with all surge protectors, exercise caution when you use them. Don't overload them. Don't put 3 space heaters on this thing, that each suck down 2,000 watts of power. You don't want to, all of these are fire hazards in a way, but when used properly, they are more than capable. And one other thing is, I like the length of the cord, 8 feet, more than enough to get to your places. And it has mounting holes on the back that you can use to mount it properly on the wall, so it looks nice and professional. So this one, they actually don't make in the one that I like anymore. It's where these USB ports are on the top corner over here. But nonetheless, these do come in 2 colors. They come in white and a black. And these are very easy to get. You can go to any really Home Depot and you can pick them up. Again, they flip out to the side. And this one's better for if you have something like that's behind like a bed or a desk, where you can't use something that plugs directly in like a normal wall outlet. So you would put this on the wall, flip them to the side, and then you can put the desk as close to the wall as possible, and you can still have all your outlets. These I really like, especially mainly for homes. You could use it for businesses and stuff, and I used a couple of them for them too, but they shine really in the home, especially in older homes, built before like the 80s, especially in the houses in the 50s and stuff. especially down here where a lot of houses were built in the 50s, where they don't have a lot of outlets. So you have to, make do with the outlets that you have. And honestly, if your house doesn't have enough outlets, it's best to, actually have an electrician come in and, add more outlets and prepare, your your breaker box for the additional more outlets. But not everyone has that kind of money, and most people, they want to just plug in, a phone charger, something that doesn't draw too much power. So these are more than perfect for that. So if you find the ones where these USB ports are on top, I would definitely get that one over this particular one, because it's a bit shorter. And two, if you're using it for like a home entertainment, like for your TV where you have a Chromecast, you can just directly plug, the Chromecast, USB cable into the USB port instead of having to run a separate brick. And, it just makes everything look a lot nicer. Again, these are something I specifically use mainly for, the home, not so much for businesses, but they work either way. And this one's a really good one. And it also provides protection more than just providing you instead of from 2 to 6. So to me, when you have a very expensive setup, like a home theater system, and and let's be honest, if you're spending $10,000 on a home theater system, why are you going to cheap out on a surge protector? Trip Light is another company I always recommend. You can't go wrong with these people, made by a famous company by Eaton. They have every type of surge protector you can imagine. They have your basic ones. They have the conference room ones, which I use every now and then, where you can set it up in the middle of a desk so everyone can plug in, their phones, their computers, their laptops, their tablets, anything that even has USB or anything. So they even have some like this premium ISO bar where you can kind of isolate, certain ones. And the rack mounted ones, if you're like in a server room, or if you have audio equipment like in a recording studio where you have all your equipment in a rack setup, you can have everything behind it. All the plugs are behind. Sometimes they're in front, but a lot of them are behind as well. So they're nice and hidden, and it keeps everything looking neat. And my favorite one are these mobile ones. So like, let's say you're in a hotel room, you're traveling and you want to make sure, nothing bad happens to your laptop when you charge it. Well, you can just put it right into the wall outlet and you have your surge protector right there. They even have dedicated ones for audio and video. These Eaton ones by Trip Light by Eaton, as it says here, these kind of can be a little expensive, as I'll click on the premium ISO bar here, where they can cost, these are not too expensive, $78, but they do range. I've seen some go for $300. I prefer these over the Monster branded ones, because these Trip Light and Eaton have been in business for quite a while. So you can really trust them, and these are made really, really well. A lot of these are meant to be used and abused. They have metal casings, so you can toss them around or they get dropped. They're not just gonna splatter and fall apart on you. They also have specialty ones for your data and video. So as you click on here, they actually make one for HDMI, where it'll, as you see here, where it protects the HDMI in case, like it goes through, to the TV. It doesn't damage, the rest of, like your sound bars, your game consoles, or, anything like that. Even make them for Ethernet and, for the old school serial people that use serial ports, the RS-232. And the energy saving ones, by the way, I'm not sponsored or anything like that. I just really like these products, so I recommend them to all my customers, and I'm making this video so you guys, if you want to buy one, have a good idea of what's a good one. The energy saving ones, haven't really used any of these, but from what I understand, you could also turn these off individually. So like, let's say you have a computer that you're gonna go on vacation and you just want to make sure that nothing happens to it. You can just press the button on the one where the computer's connected to, and then that way, instead of having to turn everything off, you can only turn off the one that you really don't want using power. So the last thing is these whole home, what they call whole building surge protectors. These come in different flavors. So the ones that we've been talking about here, the ones that you plug into the wall, are what we call type 3. This one's a type 2, where it it sits, like something here where it sits on the side of the box. And then, we have your type 1, which is something similar to this, except it goes inside the box. Um, these I never do, because these a lot of times require a special electrical technician, as you see in this stock photo here, installing it. They're not hard, but usually for businesses, you know, it's not feasible to do this because chances are you're leasing a space, and in that space there's other tenants. Maybe you're in like a mall or something. So, to get your landlord or the guy you're doing your lease with to install one of these is a hassle, because sometimes you have to, in order to install these, you have to turn off the power to the building. Like if you're in a house, you have to turn off the whole power, the entire building, your whole entire house basically. But just because you flip the main switch to the house doesn't mean electricity's still coming in, because from the street the power company is still sending electricity. So if it's big enough, or if you're, to me, I've never installed one of these, but to me you would want to install it right before the power from the utility company is even entering the breaker panel. You would have to actually contact the utility company with the electrician, and they would have to coordinate to turn off power to the house so you can install it, and then coordinate to turn the power back on from the utility company side. And if you're a landlord where you have a bunch of tenants, you don't want to, just because one guy wants to install his an entire surge protector for his building, he has to cut power to the entire building, which including all his tenants. It's not really feasible. That's just going to piss everyone off. So these I normally don't recommend, and these also are pretty expensive as well, on top of the fact that you have to hire an electrician, which is not a cheap thing in and of itself. So these I normally stay away from. And even if you have these, like the type 1, it'll let the small little surges through. So you would still in the end need a surge protector at the wall outlet itself. So unless you're in a really sensitive environment, or you're in an area prone to surges, or you're dealing with sensitive equipment that you need protected at all costs, then maybe this is right for you. But again, to me, I've never really had a situation where you needed it. So sticking to the wall outlet ones is 9 times out of 10 more than enough. Well, thank you very much everybody for watching this video.